Hey guys, it's Bree coming to you with the B Face, and today we are doing another Ready to Love review. This is season 6, episode 6, and this one is called Backup Plan. So I paid attention to the title this time. The episode starts off at the men's lounge. The first thing I noticed was these men in this gray and navy blue. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. They looked really good. And so Tori's assignment is for the men to take out their second option or their backup plan. And I had like an awe moment for Tori because he was like, I didn't really have a backup plan, which is in real life, that would be so sweet, right? Like I am focused on one person. I don't want anyone else. I don't want to explore anyone else. I want this particular person and I'm sure about it. Any other time, any other place, that would be applauded. So the men are like setting out to take out their second choice. Carmen appeared in this episode a lot. And kind of Dakia a little bit. Dakia also appeared quite a bit in this episode. So the first date, there were no group dates this time, which I think now that we're getting into the nitty gritty, the group dates are fewer and farther in between. So Carmen and Eric are first, and that conversation, he's doing the same thing that he did at the pool party, which is like downplaying other connections in front of Carmen. And I don't understand because he was saying like someone was hovering longer than they needed to. And she was like, yeah, someone was holding hands with you. And I'm just like, get out of here. Who are you talking about? Say the name. Like you're already on camera. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Dakia? Because what actually happened in that kitchen was like, oh no, we're gonna be in a relationship from you. Ugh, gross. And then he said something about Dakia like leading in for a kiss and he obliged, like he wasn't interested or like he couldn't have said no to the kiss or just not tell Carmen about it. Like why would he violate? I mean, like that feels to me not even just indiscreet, but you're trying to either downplay your connection with someone else or just have a story to tell or make it seem like you're a hot commodity because someone wanted to kiss you and you didn't really, but you obliged because, hey, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. And then he tells Carmen, oh, you know you're on top. Is she? Because this whole episode is about second options. Gross. The next date was Tina and Demetrius. Listen, I felt so bad for Demetrius because this entire episode, these women wanted to come for his whole entire neck and he did nothing. He has done nothing. And these women are just like, no, I have the smoke for you. You're the one. So Tina and Demetrius went out on a date because Demetrius seems to think that she's beautiful and wants to get to know her. In her confessional though, sidebar, that big hair that Tina had was very nice on her. I didn't like this little wet and wavy thing she had going on today. And I wasn't a huge fan of the body wave on her, but this hair when she was in the confessional, it was like really big and flowy. I really like that. That suits her. So Tina calls Demetrius out because she's like, well, I would have no way of knowing that you're interested in me because you don't talk to me. Like you didn't talk to me at the pool party. This is the first time I'm hearing from you, so I didn't know. And then she was like, oh, people nibbling on your ear and you kissing people at the table and all these women have a crush on you. So how am I supposed to fit in? Like, do you even like me? And I was confused on where that came from because, yeah, that's why you're on a date. Like, what? Like, if you didn't come in with smoke, you would have been able to get to know him instead of making the assumption. Because she was like, well, I don't want to make an assumption that you're a player. And he was like, no, but you are. And she was. Like, you came real hot. You came in ready to give the work. And okay. But I will say for Demetrius's part, I'm very glad that that didn't make him check out of the conversation. I am starting to think that this man is serious when he says he has done the work. I am starting to think he's very serious. I mean, I think men, you know, the ones who are, you know, calm and know how to navigate conflict, I feel like they know how to let a woman just be upset and, you know, go off if they need to, and then they're just calm. Like, they're just the calm voice. Like the guy from last season who was, I don't remember his name. Dante. I was going to say the guy with 3 baby mothers, but I was like, that's not nice. But anyway, yeah. So Dante, he was very calm at all times. Like, even when Miss Brown Girl Squad was in his face, like, he was just very calm. And Demetrius, he gets his point across and is still able to be calm and not check out of the conversation. So I really enjoyed that part. I was like, that's a good, you know, skill to have, to be able to navigate conflict like that. And it seems like at the end they got to have a really good conversation and seem to have quite a few things in common about what they're looking for in a partner in their next relationship. So that was nice. And Donovan, the next person. Donovan goes out on 3 dates. Oh, he's busy this week. So he takes out, and it was so funny because I saw like Donovan and I saw the 3 ladies walking in, and I thought, oh, this is another group date. And it was like, no, it's just Donovan. Donovan on his many dates. So Donovan goes out separately with Carmen, Sabrina, and Dakia. And I have said before that I don't feel like he is that interested in anybody here, except if Sabrina were to switch up and come off of Demetrius. And I was right, because Sabrina's the only one he is flirting with. And I'm like, yeah, I could see them actually dating. Like, she seems like his type. Like that's the type of person that he would actually date in real life. So then Dakia and Clifton got on a date. Boring. She calls him Big Daddy. Paul and Joy go out on a date. As soon as Paul came on the screen and talking about Joy, I was like, this ain't gonna work. And Joy came in there and was like, yeah, this is a friend date. I'm not even seeing this as anything other than a platonic situation. So, but I will say in their conversation, I think I can see Paul being a really great person to have a conversation with, a really great person to talk to. He seems like he gives good advice. He seems like he really listens. And he was even telling Joy, like, you know, if you're feeling Clifton, you're feeling Clifton. But, you know, you stand up in the middle of all the people and kiss the man, you're laying your cards out, right? Like, you are putting some people on notice and possibly hurting other people's feelings. I mean, that's just the reality. And I was like, okay, Paul with the words of wisdom, substance. I liked Paul in that moment. I was like, let me find out he's an attentive listener. Goodness gracious. I pulled out my Tony Baker. I never knew. Anyway, Ace and Laverne gets on my nerves every time he's on the screen because it just seems like acting. Like, he is really just pouring it on and not even smooth. Like, he's not even as smooth as Demetrius is. He's just really attractive and talks a lot. And anyway, he apparently listened to something that Ace said and got her like a little lotion because he said she likes the little skin things. And he starts rubbing the lotion on her arm. And she seems very shy around him still, but they seem to have a cool conversation. And he basically told her, we go together. That's all I have to say about that. Tori and Precious go out on a date. This is what I said. Tori's for the streets. He, that whole conversation was just very surface. And he said in his confessional that Precious, he had conversations with Precious, but they had like an empty conversation, or whenever they talk, it's an empty conversation. But I don't know that that's the fault of Precious. I feel like if you want to spark those conversations, you can create spaces where those conversations happen. And I think at one point she tried to ask a serious question, and maybe this was the editing, but the next thing I hear is, let's get a shot from Mr. Tory. And then he kisses her out of the blue. And I was like, oof, Paul ain't gonna be happy about that. Or maybe he doesn't care, because I haven't seen them interacting much lately. And I haven't heard her say anything about him. They haven't said that they're in each other's top anymore. So yeah, maybe that connection died out a while ago. But yeah, that was Tori and Precious. Was that all? Was that all the dates? Did I go through all the dates? I feel like I did that really fast. Well, hey. If this is fast, I mean, I don't know how I went through all these dates fast. Maybe because the dates themselves didn't have a whole bunch of substance. But the episode was interesting regardless. They get to Deliberation. And this is where all the drama happened in the previews. I was really excited to see. So the drama was that now that Laverne has roped Ace into a relationship, he now feels that he is a great person, or in a great position to offer advice to the men and say, hey, we get into the time. Y'all need to be intentional. You need to make your choices known. If you're feeling someone, you need to tell them. And Eric immediately was like, get out of here. I know, like you don't need to say that. And Demetrius was like, you don't even have to finish that sentence. I got this. So yeah, the fellas were not feeling. Oh, and Donovan said, I mean, you're not going to bully me into making a decision. I just got here last week. So, yeah, none of the men even mentioned, oh, good advice. Like, none of the men, all of the men were just like, yeah, you can shut up now. Like, we don't need that. Don't need your advice. And in my head, I'm like, Eric, weren't you Laverne in the bottom last week? Why are you in a great place to give advice? So after Deliberation, we find out that Joy and Precious are on the bottom. I immediately thought there's no way that Joy's going home because of Clifton. But I did think, even if Joy were to go home, I feel like Clifton would not be far behind her. And then they would just show up to the reunion booed up like, you didn't stop nothing. But I did feel like Precious was on her way out. So Demetrius takes Joy out for this elimination date just to let her know she's on the bottom. And this is the second woman to just go off on Demetrius for no reason. So Demetrius is like, well, we haven't gotten a chance to have a one-on-one or talk or do any of those things. Like, where do you think we are? She was like, where do you think we are? And he's like, well, I'm interested. And she's like, yeah, it's not there for me. And Demetrius is telling Joy what the fellas said and just feeling like she's not really open to the process anymore, and that, you know, there's nothing there now that she has Clifton. And she was like, let's talk about you and how I don't feel like you're genuine and that you don't even actually like anyone here. And Demetrius was like, where's everyone getting this information? Stop it. Like, what are you talking about? That I'm messy and I'm trying to start stuff? What are you even saying? And I will say, Joy was the last person that I thought would go off on someone at an elimination. I really thought she seemed very mature. I thought she seemed very well adjusted and even keel and fun loving and calm enough to handle rejection. Oh, but she said, not today. I have all the time in the world for these words. So that was a weird space. I was like, oh, I did not like seeing that attitude from you, Joy. That was unfortunate, but hey, she stayed. And Precious is told by Clifton, you're not ready to love. And she gets up, hugs Clifton, and says, thank you for having my back through this process. We're always going to be homies. And that is the kind of attitude that I like to see from people who are aware of what the premise of the frickin' show is. Anywho, surprisingly, they end up back at the wine bar. Like, this is a new week, but I think they ended up back at the wine bar so that they could set us up for this next episode, because at the wine bar, Tommy's just like, so how's everyone doing? Like, how's this process going? And everyone's like, good, great. And Dakia is like, not great. Eric can stay far, far away from me. Oh, what happened there? Do we have another Phil and Shiloh situation? There's always one a season. So, yeah. The next, the previews for next week, I'm excited because I want to know what Eric did. Because Dakia said, like, there's just areas that he needs to heal, but he can do that away from me and out of my face, basically. Like, I don't need to be a part of that. I don't want to date him. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to see him. What did you do? And so in the previews for the next episode, Eric goes to Principal Tommy's office. Tell him what he done did to poor Dakia. And he said, I really hurt her feelings and I didn't intend to. I'm like, did you hurt your feelings or did you, like, what did you do? I'm like, I want to know what you did, because this doesn't sound like you just said something off the cuff and it was a hurt feeling. And then at first I was like, ooh, did Dakia find out what you've been saying to Carmen? But that wouldn't make sense because he would not have been the one to tell her, I don't think. I feel like that would have been something that Carmen would say. So, I don't know. I am interested to see what actually happened and why the very, like, you know, it's one thing for a connection to fizzle out or you do something and it's like, yeah, I'm good. But she said, I don't want to see him, speak to him, date him. Like, you must have done something like this, something. And I want to know what it is. So the next episode outside of that whole mess is they're meeting the exes. Now, this is a staple in Ready to Love. Why? Who actually knows? But maybe just entertainment. But I don't know. I feel like they choose the most unproblematic ex, right? Like, you're not going to choose the ex that's going to say, oh, she was a terrible person. She was mean. She got up in my face and didn't let me finish sentences. And we broke up because she put her hands on me. Like, they're not going to invite the ex that's going to tell you that. They're going to invite the ex that they're probably still friends with or cool with, or like whoever wants to get on TV, but you have to be nice. You got to be on your best behavior. Like, I mean, yeah. But on the ex date, Joy invites Clifton and Laverne. So they're both sitting at the table, Clifton and Laverne, with the ex and Joy. Which almost makes Laverne seem like the fourth, like the oddball out, because it's at the table, it's Clifton sitting next to Joy, sitting next to the ex, sitting next to Laverne. It's like a U shape, and Laverne's on the other end, and Clifton and Joy are sitting there like the parents of the group. But yeah, Clifton gets into it with the ex because the ex says something about not being jealous, or jealousy is not going to get you anywhere. And Clifton was like, are you calling me jealous? Like, are you saying I'm a jealous person? And at some point he told Joy, I'm trying to ask a question. to get to something. So it seemed like he kind of shut her down at some point. Like maybe she said something like, oh, don't ask that, or something. And he was like, no, I will. I am interested to see what that is. Ace brings her ex, who is so fine. I'm like, ma'am, circle back. Circle back. What do you mean? Like, that man is fine. And I think Laverne gets into it a little bit with him too. It looks like Laverne meets up with Sabrina, and I'm wondering if this is like an elimination date, but Sabrina gets really upset and like leaves and like cusses at him, like, and says you should get over yourself. So I'm wondering what happened in that interaction. But Sabrina did not look happy, and Laverne looked very smug and pleased with himself. So let's all act surprised that he is ruffling someone's feathers. Maybe next week will be better. We'll have more to say since there's other parties involved, and it'll be a little bit longer and more to say about the episode. So that's it for this review, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.